Hi, in this video tutorial, we're going to show you how to collect tax from your customers using Stripe Checkout. Okay, so I have a Stripe Checkout payment button embedded into my test site here. And when the customers click that, they will be redirected. I have a $100 product and I want to collect tax. So this example is using Stripe Tax. If you have Stripe Tax, they'll automatically calculate the tax based on the customer's address. Okay, we have our test customer, and let's say that test customer lives in Boulder, Colorado, and it's 80302 in Boulder, Colorado. Okay, so there's a 4.985% tax rate in Colorado. And then let me try 100 Vine Street in Hollywood, California. 9068 California, and now it's applying a 9.5% tax for Hollywood. So let me show you how you can do Stripe Tax like this, and also a couple other ways to do tax without Stripe Tax. So here we are in Paid Members app. I've gone to Setup Checklist Payment Buttons. Stripe Tax just works on Stripe's new checkout. You can do it for one-time payments or subscriptions. Let's do a one-time payment example. And if you see this option for Legacy Stripe Checkout, that means you went to My Account and you check the box to see Legacy Checkout. Stripe Tax doesn't work on legacy buttons. For our legacy Stripe Checkout system, you can just add a tax that's always added. It's just a fixed tax. You can add whatever percentage and it will be on the customer's invoice. But for new checkout, you have some other options. Okay, so I already made a button. I'm clicking My Save Buttons, Stripe Tax example. Okay. So here we just added a little plan description. I want the button to say pay with card, and we're going to go to advanced options. Okay, so down here on the right, we have a box that says include tax. So if you click that, you have a few options. The first option is to use one of your tax rates. So these are tax rates that you've set up in your Stripe account. So you could have a fixed tax rate where you always charge 10%, or a fixed tax rate where you always charge 100%, whatever you want, whatever you've set up as your tax rates. Just like everything in Stripe, there's test mode and live mode. So these are tax rates because we're just doing a test button right now. So that's a fixed tax rate. Your customer would always be charged the same amount. Then you can have a dynamic tax rate. So for example, I have a Colorado tax setup and I have a California tax setup. So if my customer's from Colorado, they would be charged whatever I say that tax rate is. But as you see here, I got the tax rate for Colorado wrong. So you constantly have to make sure that you have these correct tax rates. And if the customer's from some state that you didn't enter a tax rate, it doesn't work so well. So that's why Stripe has Stripe Tax. So again, just to review, you can do a fixed tax rate, like 10% all the time. You can do a dynamic tax rate, which you don't select it here. It'll just pull from your tax rates because you've associated tax rates with different states. Or if you don't want to deal with uploading millions of tax rates for every place in the world, Stripe has something called Stripe Tax. You do have to upgrade to use Stripe Tax, and then you go into our app and just tell us you have it by going to My Account. And then once you've upgraded to Stripe Tax, just check the box that says Stripe Tax, and then we'll give you that feature. And then I'll go back to that payment button, one-time payment. Okay. So new checkout. And again, I'm going to go to my save button that I already populated some of it, and I'm going to go to advanced options. Okay. And let's say I want to use Stripe Tax. So just click this checkbox. I want to apply tax and then choose Stripe Tax. So let's update the button and then just copy code. And I'm going to go into my site. So we work on multiple platforms. I'm using Weebly right now for this example. And when customers click on your Stripe checkout button, they'll be redirected to checkout.stripe.com. and then enter address to calculate the price as I just showed in the beginning of the video. So let's say you wanted to do a fixed tax rate, and let's see, I'm going to change it from using Stripe Tax to a fixed tax rate of, let's just say 10%. So if you update your button with a fixed tax rate, then you just copy the code. Let me update this button. And I click on the button, and then now the price will be $110 because I've included a fixed 10% tax to the payment. So there's a couple things you have to do in your Stripe account. So let me go to my Stripe account here. So you probably want to look for Stripe Tax under settings. You might need to add it. And let's see, tax right here, settings. So you'll have to say your default product tax code, general tangible goods, whatever it is, software as a service. I'm choosing general tangible goods for this example. And then you have to register in specific states. So you have to add registration for the taxation to work. And again, this is in test mode, and you'll probably want to do the same thing, toggling over to live mode to get it all set up. So you do have to set up your Stripe tax. And then the other thing you have to do is you have to go onto the product itself. I'm selling this $100 pricing plan. And so it's this is the product up here. And the way Stripe is set up is a product has a price. So you want to scroll down here to the pricing, and you have to actually update it here. So click these 3 dots right here and click edit price. And Stripe will ask you, include tax in price. So I have a couple choices here. I chose no, and they give you a little preview here. So I don't include it in the price. So that means it's $100 and then tax is added on top of it. So the total would be $108 if there is 8% tax. You can also include yes, and then the tax is inclusive. So that's an important choice, and then it's like locked into that price. And you'll get an error on the button if you do not set this on the price. So make sure that your price is taxable in that way. And then when customers go to your website and click on your button, you can have a fixed tax rate like I have here, or you can use Stripe tax or your own tax rates to automatically calculate tax when the customer enters an address. And that is how you add Stripe tax using Paid Members app.